The building of modern comprehensive evolution theory has collapsed. Just when you think you've grasped life, it smiles and hurls you into a deeper abyss. The founder's dream, rational science, or the illusion of control. In the early 20th century, the world of biology stood at a crossroads. A grand synthesis was proposed, a union between Darwin's natural selection and Mendelian genetics, and it was christened the modern synthesis. The name sounded noble, even visionary. But behind it was a hurried political marriage, not a deep scientific unity. The architects of this theory sought something deceptively simple, a computable evolution. A theory that could measure, predict, and package life into equations. Like physicists before them, they longed for a Newtonian biology, one where cause and effect, input and output, could be neatly modeled. But life is not a clock, and biology is no playground for deterministic dreams. Beautiful math, crude reality. Let's be clear, what they built was elegant. Population genetics gleamed with mathematical precision, but beneath this gleam lay assumptions, dangerously fragile ones. That mutations are random, that genes are the sole units of heredity, that natural selection is the only sculptor of change, that the environment is a static backdrop, that development is irrelevant noise. Each of these tenets was more metaphysical than empirical, more philosophical than biological. And each has now been seriously challenged, if not outright falsified, by discoveries in evo, systems biology, and ecology. The modern synthesis has become a rigid framework, beautiful, yes, but brittle. It is like a statue worshipped for its symmetry. While life pulses outside the temple walls, a theory without language for the living world. Today's biologists face a different world. A plant transmits stress responses across generations via small RNAs and vesicles. Bacteria swap genes horizontally to adapt within hours. An embryo shapes its body using biophysical feedback loops. No genes required. Animals learn, teach, and transmit culture. Bypassing genetic change, viruses lie dormant in genomes for millennia, only to awaken and rewrite the script of evolution. To all of this, the modern synthesis offers little more than silence, or worse, denial. Its vocabulary is inadequate, its grammar broken. It chants the same incantation. Mutation is random, selection favors the fit. Is this science, or the desperate spell of a theory terrified of its own obsolescence? For evolution is a battle hymn, not a ledger. Life is not a DNA ledger. It is an open system, embedded, responsive, self-organizing, driven by feedback and co-creation. Real evolution is not a slope but a storm. It's not the slow turning of genetic gears, but a dance of emergence, development, ecology, history, and chance colliding into novelty. And yet the modern synthesis insists that adaptation is always gradual and smooth, that novelty must start with a gene, that complexity is a statistical side effect, not a systemic drive. But look closer, look at feathers, look at mimicry, look at octopuses who rewrite their RNA. Look at social insects with hive minds. Look at the emergence of consciousness. Are we really to believe these are mere accidents of a blind watchmaker? Today, a new chorus rises from complexity science, from developmental biology, from ecological dynamics and information theory, and it sings. Evolution is not accounting, it is invention. Not calculation but choreography. Not survival of the fittest but emergence of the possible. From ally to obstacle, the modern synthesis must stand down. Let us be fair, the modern synthesis was once a step forward. It brought coherence where chaos ruled. It connected genetics to Darwinism, and it stabilized evolutionary thinking for decades. But now, it has become a gatekeeper, not a guide. It filters out what it cannot explain. It dismisses the non-genetic, the non-gradual, the non-selective as minor exceptions. It trained us to believe that selection explains everything, while never asking, who determines the space of selectable options? At heart, the modern synthesis suffers from methodological arrogance. It forced a reductionist framework onto a world that is deeply non-linear, multi-level, and historically contingent. It is no longer science at the frontier. It is a relic, a comfort, a dead language muttered by those afraid of the unknown. Epilogue. Science is not belief. Evolution is not doctrine. We need a new theory of evolution. One that integrates development and ecology. One that respects multi-scale causality. One that embraces self-organization, emergence, and historical constraint. One that recognizes agency and meaning, not as metaphors, but as real dynamics in living systems. We must rebuild the house of evolution, not on sand, not on gene worship, not on 20th century dreams of control, but on the vibrant, messy, awe-inspiring reality of life itself. The modern synthesis has done its work. It is time to thank it and let it go.